Hey, good morning, and it's Dr. Gina here. And for this morning's Coffee Connection, I wanted to take a little time to share my story. So this week we celebrated Chiropractic Founders Day, and chiropractic's been helping and serving families for 124 years. And I've been blessed to be able to be in practice and serving people for 23 years. So I wanted to come to you today because oftentimes as doctors, as healthcare providers, we get to hear a lot about our patients' lives, our practice members' stories, but maybe you don't get to know about me and why I'm so passionate about chiropractic and why I chose chiropractic. And actually, chiropractic really chose me. So I'll tell you a little bit about that. But I really wanted to share with you why chiropractic is so important in my life and how it really saved my life. So it starts back in 1990, so 30 years ago almost now. And so I grew up and I started gymnastics when I was 4. So by the time I graduated from UCLA in 1990, I had excruciating low back pain that brought tears to my eyes to get out of bed. The active lifestyle that I grew up having was really slowly deteriorating and going away. And I mean, I could take, over the counter, like pain meds that really did nothing. I started taking like 800 milligram Motrin that really barely touched my back pain, but also my cycles were really painful and uncomfortable. That really caused my back to get worse. I would get sick often. Like I started getting strep throat, like when I'd come home from breaks from UCLA after finals, I would get sick and kind of crash. And then by the time, my 3-week break maybe would be over, then I would recover. But I started getting like chronic strep throat, bronchitis, and those things. And those happened after a serious injury that I had. So starting gymnastics when I was 4, then my sophomore year of high school, I fell off the uneven bars and landed on my head. I had temporary paralysis from the waist up that lasted for the day of the injury, but I was told never to do gymnastics again. Luckily, to my benefit, I didn't really listen to that, and I was back in the gym about 3 weeks after that, but my chronic back pain that I had gotten worse. I started having like tingling and numbness in my hand, started having headaches, and these things started coming over time. So by the time I got to UCLA and then graduated in 1990, I had, like I said, excruciating low back pain that brought tears in my eyes to get out of bed. Headaches I didn't know that were associated. My cycle was uncomfortable. Just my active lifestyle was slowly deteriorating. And my cousin worked for a chiropractor. So she kept trying to get me to go. And I really was like, And it wasn't really for any reason. I just didn't have any knowledge. Finally, I was to the point where, what do I have to lose? I'm going to go. So I went and he evaluated me, did x-rays, sat down and explained everything. And I was still like, well, okay, let's try this, but because what do I have to lose? So as I started going, and I was going daily. I was going daily for like the first 3 to 4 months. My back pain was slow to improve, but I did start to notice I was having more energy. My moods were improving. I wasn't getting headaches. And, I started just feeling better overall. So fast forward, the back pain, those things went away. And I decided after about being out of school for 1.5 years, after graduating that, I wanted to go back and become a chiropractor because it had given so much to me. And way back when I wanted to be a pediatrician, but then I decided I didn't want to go to school that long and I just wanted to get out and get a real life. But, it's funny how life calls you back. So I went back to school, started chiropractic school, and then graduated in 96, started practice, and then full circle, my daughter was born in May of 98, and that really pushed me into the pediatric realm. So as my daughter was born, and I think those are the things that I really love to share. So I practiced up until the day I had my daughter. So being in practice and fully pregnant, I thought that was pretty amazing because listening to moms now, that's usually not really common. A lot of things that happen with pregnancy, women think that are like common, maybe having back pain, but pubic pain or swelling swelling, all those things, that wasn't something, those weren't things that were common and normal for me during pregnancy. And then again, when I was pregnant 5 years later with my son, same thing. I practiced up until about a week before he was born. So I've had 2 natural births. My son was born at home, and I've been in practice for 23 years, and all that back pain, all those things are, not part of the story anymore. But what the other part that's really cool, so I'm 52, will be 53 in a few months, and I don't take any medications, and that's something that I find very, uncommon. So a lot of people ask, like, how can you not take any medications or nothing, because my body hasn't needed it. And when your nervous system, because that's what chiropractic is about, people understand that it's about the spine, but the spine protects your spinal cord, your communication pathway from your brain to your body. And when your nervous system is functioning better, then your body overall functions better. So common ailments and things that maybe people, your quote, my age have, I don't have. I don't have to worry about like blood pressure, cholesterol, or those things, because my nervous system is functioning better. And then I choose other healthy lifestyle factors. But what I want people to know is that this can be like your life too. So my daughter, who is a senior in college, she plays D1 volleyball. She had never taken any medications, anything over the counter, had anything put into her body until her sophomore year of college, when she broke her finger. So she needed Tylenol. And people are like, wow, how can that be? But that's because her body was able to function at its full potential. And yes, we ate well and make sure she got good sleep. And there's lots of other things we do. We're not just lucky with good genes, but we chose things. But for me, I just want people to understand like how much better your life can be if your nervous system and your communication pathway is working optimally. So like common sicknesses weren't common in our household. Yes, the kids would get like a cold or flu here and there, but it wouldn't take them out, and it wasn't something that was chronic. A lot of you hear me talk about my daughter, and I also had a son. Sorry, try not to get emotional, but Bryce was born when Caitlin was 5. Bryce passed when he was 2.5. But I want to share his story, because this was a little boy who lived his full life. He was healthy the whole time, but he did pass suddenly when he was 2.5 because he had an undetectable birth defect. Part of his large intestine wasn't attached, so it ended up folding on itself, and it compromised the blood supply. So the blood pooled in his gut, which meant that his brain, didn't get the blood and the oxygen it needed. But why I share that with you is because he was healthy, and when they did his autopsy, he was found to have that birth defect, and he was also found not to have one of the lobes of his lungs. So I shared this because here's a little boy that didn't have like all his matter in his body. He didn't have all his organs, but because his nervous system was working properly for 2.5 years, he was able to live and express his full life. What I was going to say was, when they did his autopsy, they said that children with this birth defect don't live past 6 months. He was the oldest one they ever saw, and he was healthy the whole time. So I know, because of chiropractic and because of our chiropractic lifestyle, he was able to live his full potential. My daughter Caitlin, wouldn't be in college at a D1 level playing volleyball with, she had her first ankle sprain ever and first injury just this year. So because her body could adapt and express itself, she's able just to function at her best. So I just want other parents and people to know how much chiropractic can impact your life and how much fuller it can be. If you have any questions or just want to know more about my story or my family story, please leave us a comment, or please leave me a comment. Contact us in our practice. But I hope this just allows you to see that, life doesn't have to be sickness or symptoms. Like, we don't know how long we're going to be here on this earth, but if we can be here and be able to express our full potential and give like the fullness of who we are and our gifts that we're supposed to be here on this earth, then this world would be that much better. So please give me some love if you found this helpful, or I just look forward. I wanted to share my story, and I hope everybody has a great day and a good rest of their weekend. All right, I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.